let's discuss how we can protect the landlord.
Okay.
So let's say I signed a contract with somebody, and he pays me in 2 checks, but second check by some reason is delaying. What can I do in this case if I'm a landlord?
Okay, when you say delaying, it means that the check went to the bank and it got bounced.
Yes, let's say it like this. Yeah, it got bounced, and I'm calling him. Can you please make a payment?
Sure.
Your check got bounced and something like this.
Sure.
Yeah.
What normally we do, we make sure that in the tenancy contract we keep a clause saying that if if a check gets bounced, there is a penalty of 500 dirhams or 1,000 dirham, whatever. That's one way to encourage the tenant, make sure that the check does not get bounced. Number one. Number two is that the check has to be cleared on time, meaning the rent has to be paid on time. If there is a delay, I always advise the landlord to be a little bit lenient with the tenants, because this is a long-term relationship. Yeah, we need to be human before anything else. We need to see what's the reason behind this delay. Maybe the guy got fired, him or her lost their jobs. Yeah, see what's the reason. Try to be more human when it comes to the situation. But being human aside, when it comes to the legal side of it, we say that okay, tell them that you need to pay us. Maybe there was some error with the bank or checks, signature or anything as such. If they rectify it, good. If they don't rectify it, if they don't respond, if they don't have a valid reason, then you do not waste time. Immediately, you're going to serve them a notice and demand payment or settlement of their rent, the second payment, and you give them 5 working days to rectify the issue. They don't rectify the issue within 1 month, you're entitled to file a case and ask for eviction. And the beautiful part of this is, in protecting the landlord, is this, that the tenant did not pay. You serve them a notice, you give him a month, he did not pay. You file the case. Next day he goes and pays you the rent. You can still get the eviction order.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Somebody
Okay.
can play around with you.
Yeah, because they think they're smart. Okay, I'm going to just wait, and then last minute I'm going to go and pay. No, the judge will not look into it. The judge will tell you that the default has happened. Within that duration, the default has happened. Immediately, the right of eviction will occur. But he had to go to the court and get that order. Hence, the time of month or so will be processed till they get the judgment. But the judge will look into it. Everything was done on time? Yes, eviction is granted.
Amazing. And how... well, I heard it's very difficult to evict the tenant.
No.
No, it's easy. Can you tell us how this process takes place?
So eviction is, as I said, if you have done it in the right way, meaning serving notice, filing the right case, asking the right things from the judge, the moment they grant you with the eviction order, you just wait for the appeal period to pass. If they don't appeal, or if the appeal also confirms, then you just go for the execution. The execution will be notified to the tenant. He has 15 days. If he does not take any actions, immediately you will just execute it, meaning that they will go and knock on his door.
Police will knock on the door and ask
The
him
the court clerk will go and knock on the door.
And if he refuse to open it, they will do people break the door in order to
You
get in?
can, yes. You can take the order from the court that the tenant is not opening the door. Then the court will grant you the access to break the door and go in.
And what about this period while the tenant was living there basically for free?
He's not living for free. He has to pay you until the day that he actually vacates the property.
And again, the court will try to find a way to get this money from him, right? It's
Well,
not my job.
That's part of the execution that we do, right? So one of the things that we do through the execution, again, you need to see what is the judgment. Judgment normally covers the eviction as well as paying the rent. So the paying the rent will go through the different procedure. Eviction goes through a different procedure. Recovering the rent, they will block his accounts, check whatever he has under his name, it will be attached, put on auction and sold. Okay? And he will be travel banned. So he cannot leave the country. All this just to recover the rent.
I see. You know, I had a very interesting story just to share with you.
Sure.
I've been several times in courts, rental dispute centers, and I was fighting with my landlords. You know, like playing a smart.
Okay.
But no, actually, I was protecting myself mainly there. But I had a very interesting case.
And who was your lawyer?
Sorry?
Who was your lawyer?
I was representing myself. I lost
good.
one.
You got lucky.
Yeah, I got lucky. Yeah. I had a big fight with my landlord because he was trying to increase the rent because the chiller is increased, and they had 20 apartments in that building where I was living, and they said everybody is increasing. I said, guys, you cannot do this. So we had a very difficult communication with them. And then I realized that one of my checks that I gave them, they didn't cash it. And 6 months passed, and I don't remember, was it the 6 months or so, but personal checks, they had an expiry date. I think it was 6 months.
6 months, they cannot cash it after that.
Yeah. So after that, they approached me and said, Dennis, you need to pay for the rent. I said, excuse me, I paid for you. Here is the receipt. I gave you the check. I said, no, you need to pay. And on the, like, they didn't allow me to get access cards. When I had to get them new, and then I went to the rental dispute center, and there I won.
Of course, yeah.
They said, yeah, you gave them the check. It's their problem. But you know what they did? They opened a case for me, not in rental dispute center. They opened in the police, and I got a call from the police. And in the police, they invited me and they asked me, like, listen, you need to pay them. Like, where is the money? I said, listen, I gave them the check. They lost it, or I have no idea what they have done. It's a big company. Maybe somebody didn't pay attention to this. And in the police, they made me pay this. And even though I showed them the decision from rental dispute center that I don't have to pay, it said, okay, this is okay, but this is rental dispute center. This is civil thing. And in the end of the day, they got money from me. Can you imagine?
So I'm sorry to say this, but this is the reason a lawyer should be involved.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to tell this to a lawyer. Yeah. I'm sure that there was some miscommunication here, that perhaps the police did not get the full picture. And if the lawyer was involved, basically they could explain everything from the legal perspective. And trust me, Dubai police is the most supportive and cooperative forces that you can ever see. They really listen and they really want to help. They're not just going to let anyone get away with it just because they're landlords. Yeah, but this needs to be explained to them in a proper way and in a legal way so that they would understand what's going on. So a check that was given by you to that person, it had to be replaced.
It had to be replaced.
It had to be replaced. So it's their fault that they have not cashed it on time, and then it got expired. But does that change the fact that you owe them money? It doesn't. You owe them money.
But I paid. I give you the money, basically. Yeah, this is what they were telling me in the
You
police.
haven't paid them. You give them a tool to recover that money. But that tool got expired, so they cannot recover their money. So they had to go to the police and then force you, right? So what normally they should do is that they need to communicate with you in writing. Tell you that, Dennis, the check that you have given us, 6 months has passed from its date, and we cannot cash it. Please provide us with a new check. If you refuse to give them the new check, then they have the right to go to the police station and file a case against you.
Yeah, this is what actually happened. Yeah.
Oh, they did that?
Yeah.
They send you an email saying that the check was...
the written, I don't remember precisely, but definitely there was something
in writing.
But in the end of the day, there was no court, just in the police station.
Okay, they can do that.
Somewhere in Deira.
They can do that. The reason is that check that you have given them, because then they're going to consider it as you trying to trick them or you trying to avoid paying them. So that's where they can enforce it. So they go and they say that, okay, he's not willing to exchange the check. Because you have to exchange it, otherwise they cannot recover the money.
Yeah, and like I was telling them, okay, look, I'm giving them another check right now. What happens if they lose this check? No, we'll give you. So, yeah. Harsh, you mentioned that, yeah, I didn't approach the lawyer. Do you know why I didn't approach the lawyer?
Sure. No, I don't know.
Because in my mind, and I think in many others' mind, like we watched like Hollywood movies, and everybody's saying, "I will sue you." Like
Okay.
You cannot afford such good lawyer as I do, and for us it looks like it's very expensive to approach the lawyer. Can you please explain us briefly as much as you can? Obviously,
Sure.
there is something case to case, like how much it will be to have help of your company with putting up together the contract, and some of the common questions that you some of the common cases that you are getting from the agents, from the clients. What is the average fees for the lawyer?
Okay, so it's very difficult to answer this question in terms of how much we charge. Obviously, we need to do it in a professional way, and that is studying the case and then giving a proper proposal. Again, obviously, we don't charge the client to give proposals to represent them in the court. Yeah, we take on the file, we have a brief study of the case, and then we tell them that, okay, this is how much we charge. They can afford it. They'll just do it. They cannot afford it. They didn't lose anything, right? So that's number one. Number two, it's not always having a lawyer on your side to represent you and file a case. We suggest that at least get advisory service from a lawyer, because by getting an advice, for example, in your situation, you could have avoided all the hassles, going to the police stations, wasting your time. I know how valuable your time is. You can do a viewing and sell a 40-50 million dirham worth of a villa or whatever.
Yeah, it took a lot of time. It wasn't one meeting.
That's
maybe
what I'm
4
saying.
meetings.
So you can spend 15 minutes with a lawyer and get the right advice and avoid all the hassles.
Yeah, you
Right?
save time and
What
money.
we used to do before, I used to have this policy that, okay, an advisory session should be 1 hour, right? But during the COVID, what we did, we broke it down to 2-3 different packages. So now people can book a 15 minutes session, a 30-minute session, or a 60-minute session. Yeah, and it's all online. So you just go online, you book your session, 15 minutes, and voila, a lawyer sitting on the other side of the line on a Zoom meeting. You get to see the lawyer who happens to have 20 years of experience in the real estate law, okay, and advising you on how to go about your issue. And that 15 minutes basically could save you a lot of time and money in the future. So get an advice instead of dealing with things on your own without having any guidelines. Or then if you want to file a case, again, you go for an advice, they study your case, everything, and then they will let you know that, okay, we can represent you. I refuse representing many clients. They come to me and I see that they have a losing case. I just tell them, don't do it. I don't like taking losing cases.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
If I see that the case doesn't have a chance to win, I will just refuse to take it. The reason is the client will trust me and they think that I'm going to win it. And then I'm going to lose it. What they're going to do? They're going to go all over the city and say that Arash lost my case. That's the last thing I want,
Yes.
right? But if
And they will say it was an easy case.
an easy case, you see? So it happened that I have taken losing cases. But what I did, I studied the case and I sent my opinion in writing to the client. And I told them that I believe your case does not have a big chance of winning. Still, if you want me to represent you, please confirm. So when they confirm, they cannot say that, no, we didn't know. We already told them that your case is not strong. And then we're going to help them.